Julia with Sirius Dallas Moon, and I want to talk about the whole other world out there because first of all, it's Mars, our Saturn day. Mars is in Aquarius, and I have been recently exposed to BIPOC entrepreneurs that travel and live in countries where not only their BIPOCness is celebrated, but also life is. Particularly when it comes to getting paid to exist, with expressing one's own voice, an environment where woman is celebrated, an environment that many countries. I broadcast from Israel, um, but also I see that a lot coming from the United States. Many cult-like societies and economies just don't know. And this is not about gender. I can speak as a woman, but um, a lot of us come from environments where our radiant, shiny self was not celebrated. Everybody was telling us to love ourselves until we did. Everybody was telling us to tell our story until we did. Um, and everybody was seeing potential until we actually began to express. And this is where I feel that so much of the nervous system has been malefically affected by beyond horrific things and exposed to beyond horrific things. Um, but it's also an awareness that there is the ability to change our own environment, and I don't neglect that. But it's also the importance of being in a happy nervous system environment. And I feel like this is a grand missing. It's a grand missing, and even watching people radiate and glow, being youngpreneurs or being solopreneurs, traveling solo as women to other countries, and being celebrated is something that is a grand missing. I live in Israel, and I'm currently watching what's happening with Iran, not because I think, oh, poor ladies in Iran, but hey, is it getting better there? Because maybe I would need to relocate if it does. Um, and I think that it's life that is missing. And that is not something that one has to be either accustomed to or fight to be acknowledged or fight to be or not even having the wage to express oneself in a way that is appreciated. All of these cultures that are really, really trying to get at the ability of a person to just live out their dreams is something that is beyond horrific. Um, and my positive message is that we should be exposed to different things. We should be, even if we can't travel at this moment, or there is a whole other world out there. It's a whole other world. There are many countries where women are equal, when men address women not with sleaziness or game. This is really a grand missing. And I find that being in an environment where to even get to be is being horrifically criticized. To even get to be. This is something that is beyond destructive, and to not even have an environment where one gets to be, gets to exist, gets to celebrate who they are. And when that being presented as all these conditions and conditioning that even in one's own physical and energy body, one doesn't even get to be. And any embodiment is perceived as a threat to the social order. This is something that is beyond horrific. Beyond horrific, because a person doesn't get to be, and then people are either hurrying for the rescue or abandoning, but the minute that they become them, there is a total collapse. Total collapse. Having an identity is something that is completely next to impossible. Having one's own I am at a workplace, at a house, whether as a tenant or as an owner of a house, in any social setting, is literally impossible here. And this is something that causes so many people to unalive themselves. The minute they can, they do. The minute they find a way to unalive themselves successfully and without pain, they do. Where any money is funneled to crimes against humanity, not even being in a place where the experience within the body is welcoming. And everybody being let down by somebody simply being in society. So much pressure that people stop having identity. They stop having identity, they are the image of their fainted self at work, at house, at anywhere. And then to see, oh, wait a second, there are women out there that are glowing. There are women out there that are living. There are women out there that are not in constant risk of being trafficked or raped even when they sleep. This is, what's the point of even having this world if the situation is that one cannot even envision a life without being persecuted within one's own body? And why isn't Israel one of the safest countries a woman can travel to or live in or work at? Why I cannot even begin to imagine being safe in my own body, in my own home, in any of my origin lands, Israel or Netherlands. Why are American women need to bother if they changed their name or didn't change their name, where everything was pressing them to change their name if they marry, and now they can't vote? Like, what the fuck is that? It is a whole other world out there. There's nothing like. And the attempt to bridge within those realities, where a woman is being so mistreated, just in the places that are supposed to reconnect her with healthy nervous system. Everybody's so furious that there is such thing as a woman. So furious that somebody exists. So much hatred to one another. It's just consisting of hatred rather than of love. So much rape culture. And this is something that is impossible to sustain as society. And everybody's so fucking triggered. Everybody's so fucking triggered by the truth. And then I watch, some lady out there being paid to exist, celebrated, able to run her life and run her business without constantly people trying to rape and traffic and prevent her from even coming close to having independent existence. That thing dehumanizes people to the point they can't even look at the world and see people. That is something where, and even to go there is made nearly impossible. On purpose, to try to stifle people in their own existence to lack of existence, over nothing. And if somebody dares to speak, oh my God, if you will shut up, then you will have this, you will shut. No, it's not. Cult-like trafficking-based, rape-based societies that are literally impossible to live in. Always talking about, oh, but there is no better, but how about it's being good here? Because even to travel, I'm not supposed to escape to another place. I'm supposed to travel to another place from a safe home, in my body, in my environment, in my housing. Making an income is not supposed to be climbing the Himalaya. To be able to not sustain, get paid to exist. And everybody doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of existing in their own body. That is something that there's a whole other world too. All of this hatred towards people just being. All of this tremendous hatred. An infant is born hated. In our societies, infants are raped. An infant is born hated. Just because they are. over nothing. There's no hope in society.